We are back and now it's time to make our delicious cream cheese frosting. I have my stand mixer here, which, like I said earlier, you can use. That would be great. But if you don't want to, your hand mixer like we use in part one is perfectly fine. Just do it in small batches. You'll be A for a way. What do we need to make our cream cheese frosting? What goes well with red velvet cake? That's cream cheese frosting. Why? I do not know, because red velvet cake isn't really very sweet cake. A lot of people like it because it isn't sweet. And I guess that cream cheese tangy flavor just adds a little bit deliciousness to it and velvety taste to so many people out there. And it's definitely the best seller over this February month of love, Valentine's Day. And I get why people like it. I've personally never been quite a fan of a red velvet, but there's a lot of people that likes it. And I've learned to tweak mine a little bit, so of course I have to taste the cake myself. And I had to do something that I felt was good enough for me. All right, so you can bake the cake and go use any other frosting that you would love to use. Absolutely up to you. For me, this one works. If you want to try it, please go and try it. If you don't want to, no hard feelings. We basically need our mixer, and you want to go, when you start mixing frosting, use, this is what we say, the K-beater. Each one of these mixers, again, if you want to get a recommendation for mixers, Kenwood is my happy place. But if you want to use a different brand, go with that. I'm not getting any money for telling you this. These have just been my personal favorite. They last long, they're durable, and it's what I grew up with. So we are going to make this with a K-beater. Do you see the little K there? This just whips up our frosting so amazingly and brings air into it. Now, you can probably sit there thinking, okay, Yolandie, you just used the word whipped. Okay, don't you want to use this little springy one? No. For some reason, I guess you can, but for some reason over the years, this worked perfect for meringue. This worked perfect for Swiss meringue frosting. This goes perfectly when you want to whip out cream. But for my frosting, the K-beater works fine. Now, if you're using the hand mixer, you don't really have a choice in what you are mixing with, but it will work perfectly as well. This one has just been so much faster and so much easier for me. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this one aside and take out our bowl, because again, we are going back to part one where the kitchen scale is necessary. Usually what I see people do is they mix up a batch and they would use a full kilogram of your icing. Right, that tends to go too sweet. All right, and it ends up you pouring more butter or margarine to get that sweetness out of the way. So in my recipe, I have lowered the amount of icing sugar. Instead of 1 kilo that you will find mostly, I only put 700 grams of icing sugar into my frosting. Right. I'm also using butter or margarine, whatever you feel comfortable with. It depends on the taste and the quality you want to add to your cakes. This is the most one that is the cheapest for all of the bakers out there. It's the wooden spoon white one. And the reason I chose that today is because butter is really expensive. I have come to see original salted or unsalted butter being almost 70 rand for a pound, which is crazy, which is crazy. I do make cookies and I do love using my butter in some of my products, but I have to give a secret away now. Just to realize I'm going to give a secret away. I have only used full fat margarine, 80% of full fat margarine over all of the years that I've baked. It's only when someone requests real butter, like they have an allergy or there's too many stuff in this. I get that. But guys, we are baking a cake. And we are not baking a flourless cake. And we are not baking a healthy cake that you make with freaking bananas. This is going to be the full fat, creamy thing you want. So why would I use something else? I'm going back to my margarine. It's what I love. I've never gotten any bad request unless somebody actually wants butter in it. And you will see all of my mentions inside my recipe. When I say buttercream, I will say butter. But when I say frosting, you can use margarine. There's no harm in that. Absolutely no harm, and it brings your costs down. Now, of course, please do not go and charge your customers if you're a baker or some kind of people that just bake for people or something. Just do not go and overcharge them. Keep in mind what the costs are and be fair to everyone out there. So in this recipe, just 80% to 100% fat margarine. Then cream cheese, it comes to the same basic principle of being much less inexpensive to get the medium fat one. Now I'm using a boatload of fat already in my margarine, in my frosting. So getting I think it's the Philadelphia range that is full fat. Of course, it is delicious and it's creamier and all of those stuff. But I'm already using so much butter, which a lot of the other recipes don't. I just get my medium fat cream cheese. That's perfectly fine. Okay, here's the thing. When you go to the shelves, there are mascarpone. Let's just put this off. If you see me boiling the kettle, it's not because I want coffee tonight. I'm going to show you a little trick with that boiling water later. So when you go to the shops and you're in front there and you see, okay, there is cream cheese, cottage cheese, mascarpone cheese, all kind of flavors, please go with plain. Go with creamed cheese, not cottage cheese, and not mascarpone cheese unless your recipe asks for it. Okay, you want to go with a plain one. Do not take one with any onions or salam or anything like that in, please God, no, only the cream cheese, plain one, right? Vanilla, good quality vanilla. Going to the grocery store, there's quite a few. If I can be as bold as to tell you to, when you buy in bulk, make sure it's a good quality one. I've come to notice when I buy in bulk, meaning I buy 10 liters or 5 liters or something, they tend to be very runny, not thick like this. They tend to lose taste. The vanilla taste go away. Use a good quality. You don't have to go to vanilla paste itself, which is extremely expensive. You can just get a good quality vanilla, and that makes the world of difference. Now, a little trick here, if you've seen this bottle, it is cream cheese flavoring from Flavor Nation. Now, again, none of these stuff, not an influencer at all for anyone being paid to promote their stuff. It's only the stuff that I have come to love. Flavor Nation, it has this amazing huge range. You can't see that now. I have like tons and tons of bottles of them. They have coffee, I've got candy cane, marshmallow, gummy, they've got chili, they've got so many flavors. And you want to use this because it's a natural product and it really enhances the flavor of the cake that you are making. Thus, adding this to my cream cheese frosting on the outside of my cake is going to make it more stable. So inside, we are going to do a filling with loads of real cream cheese, and then we are going to flavor it with a natural flavoring for the outside. So you're not going to have just plain vanilla frosting around your cake. You're actually going to still keep the cream cheese flavor around the cake while giving your filling a cream cheese base filling. So you'll still have that original taste, but you can have a stable cake as well. Okay, I think we need to get started on making this. Of course, I'm not going to have you listen to the mixer. I will stop it and show you what it is, what we do in between. This takes about 8 to 10 minutes if you really want to incorporate air into this. So I'm going to show you the different textures. Don't worry about that. First, we're going to measure it out. We're going to get our scale on. There we go, it's 0. And I'm going to add in 700 grams of my icing sugar. I do not sift it. You can. I would recommend sifting it maybe if you're using your hand mixer to get that lumps a little bit easier out. But I don't sift mine because I really, really mix it quite a lot in a long time. So I don't need to. Okay, let's see. If I can read upside down, we are just about there. Perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly on the dot, but more or less the 700 is good. You're going to put this away. I'm running out of icing. That's not nice. Okay, getting back. We are taking this away. And now, I want to add in my margarine or butter, whatever you choose. Let me turn this away so you can see. You can throw it in there, put your mixer on, and have your whole kitchen up in icing sugar cloud. But what I like to do is I like to just go in with a knife or something. This was the first thing I can find. Chop it up into pieces and then chuck it out there piece by piece. Now when I put my mixer on, it's going to just slowly incorporate everything and not spill out half of my icing sugar. I put that aside, get that off. Right. Now I'm making a normal regular frosting. This is something you can do when you make just normal icings as well. You don't have to put in the cream cheese if you don't want to. If you're making regular ones, that's great. Okay, it's inside. I'm going to put this in. Okay, now I've not added any of these yet, right? Keep them aside because I want to incorporate the butter and the icing sugar first. Now what you will see is that first, I'm going to have to put this on. It's going to stay grainy, all right? And you're going to probably think, but this is never coming together at all. What you can do is get some full cream milk if you want to, but not a quarter cup like my vanilla frosting would recommend. I literally add 2 tablespoons of full cream milk. Then I go in slowly and immediately we will see your frosting is changing. Now hopefully very soon I will get a clear bucket here. Ken, we just brought it out I think a while ago that I can actually show you what it looks like inside. But I can already see my mixture coming together. Now if you're not happy with it, you can add more milk, but I do not recommend it because when I add my cream cheese in, it's going to go soft. Too soft consistency and you're going to not be able to frost your cake. Start with a better one. Start with one that's quite thick. Creamy but thick. Okay. Now I'm going to let this go for a few seconds and then I want to show you at what stage do I add my vanilla. Now, right now what I'm seeing in my bowl is still, I've got icing everywhere and pieces of butter, but it's not come together yet. All right, now what I see, it starts to build up, right? Okay, now again, vanilla is a liquid. So you see why I restrained from adding in milk so much? Because adding in more liquid and liquid and liquid in your frosting, you're going to end up with a runny mess. So using the same spoon, because we want to save dishes, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of, only 1 tablespoon. When you get to my original vanilla recipe, a vanilla frosting recipe, you will see I think I add in 2 tablespoons there, but we want our cream cheese to be the star of the show here, so I'm not going to add in much of my vanilla, just a little bit. And I'm going to incorporate that, and now I'm going to add a teaspoon. Let me put this off for a second. I'm going to add a teaspoon of my cream cheese flavoring, sorry. All right. Ooh, this smells good. Okay, just 1 teaspoon for now. Keep it here. We're going to add those again later. Right. Oh, it's perfect. It's coming together so perfect. Let me show you. It's already at a stage where it starts to cream. There's still a chunk of butter here, but it's already at a stage where it starts to cream. And that's where I'm going to add in, let's get this back, using my spatula, scrape off all of those butter. If it just sits there, it's not going to incorporate. And you don't want to eat butter on cake. Ugh. Maybe on a sponge that just came out of the oven or something like that, that only got a vanilla oil cake, that delicious with only butter. But this cake, you do not want to taste the butter. Okay, I've scraped on my sides. Now I'm going to open my cream cheese. Now this is about the normal size tub, 230 grams. Where's my buckets? Let me put this one aside there. Perfect. Okay, get it out of the way. I'm going to add in half of this. Let's see, where's my little spatulas? Oh, I love them. Half of my cream cheese right now. Okay, so now I have cream cheese flavoring. I have original full, what's that, medium fat cream cheese. So I'm going to get that cream cheese feeling going. That's going around the edges of your cake and the sides to keep it stable. And I'm slowly going to start this. I'm not going to have you listen to it. And I'll come back and show you what I want. Now this is going to be more or less 8 minutes. I will again time it for you. And once I start this, I'm going to start it here. And we'll get an idea how long it took me to make this. It's going on full blast. So see you in a few minutes. Right, we are in 5 minutes of mixing on full speed. And already, okay, let's keep this one inside and I can take this out. You will definitely already see the difference. Okay, this is where we started. You see the grainy bits and you see the fluffiness I have there. I hope you can see this. Let's add this a little bit closer to you guys. Do you see that? That's a big ass difference. And when I taste it, I'm just about there where I want it to be. But, like I always say, when I'm mixing my frosting, when you think you are done mixing it, go and mix it a little bit more. And I am going to start this and continue mixing up until 8 minutes. There we have it. There we have it. 8 minutes. Perfect frosting. Can you see that? I mean, this is ridiculously creamy. And it's not overwhelming, overpowering. It's stable. It's going to be extravagant on this cake. So, next up, now that we have our frosting, we need to get our cake because I'm so super excited to finally decorate this cake for you, show you how I do it, so easily. And in a few steps, you'll learn how to do it as well. Practice it at home. See it in all of my different social media sites that I've got. YouTube, I've got Instagram, and I've got Facebook. Go and find those videos. Go and watch them over again. Watch this over and over again. And just enjoy the process. Take a deep breath. Have fun. Because that's what it's all about. The next part is what it's all about for me. Seeing something like egg, sugar, and milk thrown together and coming out in something so delicious, luxurious, and show-stopping. Show-stopping is the word I want. It all takes time and it all takes a little bit of patience and practice. And trust me, if you don't enjoy the process, you're not going to like baking. If you get irritated easily and you're not going to challenge yourself with trying to make this fun for yourself, you might as well get off now. You need to embrace this. You need to take a deep breath right where you are. And as soon as you listen to this, see the pleasure I have in this. See the joy it brings me. And see the end results. Take it to your friends and then see the faces they bring you. So when you eventually go and stand in front of your made cake, your made frosting, and now it's time to decorate, I will literally want you to take a moment, take a few deep breaths, and tackle that cake. Do not rush it. Do not get overpowered by the techniques. Even if you go and do it with an old age fork and you write ripples on it, this is you that made a cake. This is you that made frosting from scratch. This is you and a moment to be proud of yourself. You took this first step into the baking world. You took on this enormous challenge of not having to go and buy one in the shops, not going to spend thousands of dollars on dollars, rands on an expensive bakery custom cake. This is something you did with your God-given talent and own hands. You know, my mom hardly had one hand, and she still went out to do it. So today I want you to go out once we do this decoration of this cake, because I get a little bit wrapped up in that, so I might forget my words, which is hard to believe, but I will. And once you go and stand there, remember, go back to this moment, put your phone on, listen to this part again, and embrace what you are doing. If you rush this, if you do this with anxiety, and if you do this with a doubt, you damn well failed already. That's not why we are here. You spending your hard-earned money on this lesson is why you need to see through to the end. So I'm going to take all of this away now, get our cake together, and we're going to get decorating.